Ah, isn't it fascinating how life, this unpredictable, chaotic masterpiece, has a way of balancing the scales? They thought they'd get away with it, didn't they? Oh, the audacity. They spun their web of cruelty, wove their tapestry of betrayal, and danced on the strings of your pain. But what they forgot, my friends, is that there's a higher power pulling strings they can't even see. God. Oh yes, the ultimate puppeteer, the master of timing, is watching, and it's only a matter of time before the cruelty they inflicted upon you returns to them in ways they could never have expected. You see, cruelty has a way of circling back. It's the law of the universe, the divine order that cannot be escaped, no matter how powerful they think they are, no matter how untouchable they feel. They've made their choices, built their castles on the backs of broken souls, and now the storm is coming. They've planted seeds of torment, and what they don't understand is that those seeds have roots that stretch deep into the earth. Roots that are pulling on forces they cannot fathom, forces that will return to claim what was stolen. They might have laughed at your suffering. They might have believed that they were invincible in their cruelty. But what they failed to realize is that the universe, the divine, does not forget. The pain they inflicted will not be buried in the sands of time. It will resurface, and when it does, it will not be in a way they can predict. God's timing is beyond human comprehension. It is not a mere coincidence. It is divine justice, and no one, no matter how powerful, can escape it. Their cruelty was a mask, a shield they thought would protect them. They manipulated, they lied, they tore down what was good and pure, thinking that they would remain untouched, untethered by the consequences of their actions. But they are wrong. The universe has a way of ensuring that every action, no matter how small, comes with its consequences. And those consequences are rarely what we expect. For every moment of heartache they caused you, for every tear they forced from your eyes, there is a price to be paid. And it will not be a price they can escape, no matter how hard they try to outrun it. The cruelty they showed you will come back to them like a storm of fury, like a wildfire that spreads through their lives in ways they never saw coming. It will seep into their world, infect every corner of their existence, and when it does, they will not be prepared. The moment they thought they were untouchable, that they had escaped the wrath of justice, that will be the moment it catches them off guard. They will be left in shock, unable to fathom how it all turned against them so swiftly. They thought they were clever, didn't they? That their manipulation and deceit would go unnoticed. But the truth has a way of finding its way to the surface, no matter how deep they try to bury it. They may have used you as a stepping stone, trampled on your spirit, but they forgot that they are not the only ones with power. They are not the only ones with control. God, the creator of all, the one who sees every injustice and hears every cry, is the one who truly holds the strings. And when God decides it's time for the scales to balance, there is no escaping it. No matter how fast they run, no matter how far they hide, it will find them. Do not mistake this for revenge, because what is coming to them is not something that you need to orchestrate. You are not the one who needs to lift the weight of that burden. It is God who will repay them, and when it happens, it will not be what they expect. Their cruelty will turn into their downfall in ways they will never see coming. The very thing they used to break you will be the thing that shatters them. Their lies, their betrayal, their manipulation, they will all come back around, crashing into their lives like a tidal wave. What they fail to see is that their actions have consequences beyond what their eyes can see. They didn't realize that every time they stepped on you, they were stepping into the path of their own destruction. Every time they took from you, they were setting the stage for their own loss. You see, What they don't understand is that there is a higher law at work, one that they cannot fight, one that they cannot outrun. The law of divine retribution is real, and it has no mercy. It is a force beyond their comprehension, and it will come for them when they least expect it. They may have thought they were in control. They may have believed that they were the masters of their fate, the ones who could dictate the lives of others with impunity. But what they don't know is that the hand of God is always moving in the background, shaping the world in ways that the human eye cannot perceive. Every cruel word they spoke, every malicious act they carried out, was a thread woven into the tapestry of their own downfall. They built their empire on the suffering of others, but in the end, they will realize that empires built on sand are destined to fall. As they continue to bask in their moment of triumph, believing that they have escaped the consequences of their actions, they are blind to the storm that is building just out of sight. The storm that will sweep through their lives and tear apart everything they have built. The storm that will come not with the fury of human hands, but with the power of divine justice. They have no idea what is coming for them. They have no idea how close they are to the very thing they thought they could avoid. It will come when they are least prepared. It will come when they believe they are untouchable, when they believe they have escaped the grip of fate. But in the quiet moments, in the stillness of their success, they will begin to feel it, the weight of their actions bearing down on them. They will feel the pressure mounting, the creeping realization that their time is running out. And when the full force of their cruelty comes crashing back into their lives, they will be powerless to stop it. Their cruelty will return to them in ways they never expected, because that is how divine justice works. It is not a simple transaction. It is not a matter of cause and effect in the way they think it is. No, it is something far greater. It is a force that cannot be outrun, a reckoning that cannot be avoided. It is the return of everything they've done, not in the form they imagined, but in a way that will leave them broken, helpless, and alone. And when that moment comes, when they are finally confronted with the reality of their own actions, they will have no choice but to face it. The consequences they tried to dodge, the pain they tried to inflict on others without consequence, will return to them tenfold, and they will be forced to see the destruction they have caused, the lives they have ruined, and the souls they have broken. It will be a reckoning, a judgment, one that they will not be able to escape. But let me tell you this, my friends, do not rejoice in their downfall. Do not gloat in their misery, for the ultimate victory is not in seeing them suffer. The true victory is in knowing that you did not have to lift a finger to make them pay. The true victory is in understanding that justice, in the end, is always served. They thought they were invincible, untouchable, but they were wrong. And in that realization, in the moment of their destruction, you will find the peace that they could never take from you. So hold your head high. Stand firm in the knowledge that there is a greater power at work. Do not worry about the cruelty they showed you, for it will not go unpunished. In fact, their cruelty will return to them in ways they cannot fathom. And when it does, they will finally understand that they were never as powerful as they thought. They were never as untouchable as they believed. And in the end, they will know that their cruelty was the very thing that led to their downfall. In the end, it is not you who will suffer, but them. It is not you who will carry the burden of their actions. You are free. You are the one who will rise above it all, while they are left to face the consequences of their choices. God is the one who will make sure that their cruelty is repaid, and when that moment comes, it will be a moment of reckoning that they will not soon forget. The scales will balance, the debt will be paid, and their cruelty will return to them in ways they never could have imagined. So fear not, my friends, for the day will come when the scales are balanced. The day will come when those who inflicted pain and suffering will finally face the consequences of their actions. And when that day arrives, you will stand strong, knowing that justice has been served. Their cruelty will return through God in ways they could never expect. And when it does, they will learn that no one is above the law. No one is beyond the reach of divine justice. Let those words sink in. Let them echo in the chambers of your heart. For there is no power, no wealth, no status, no position that can protect anyone from the truth. No matter how high they rise, no matter how deep they dig into the earth to bury the consequences of their actions, divine justice will find them. It is inevitable. It is unyielding. It is as certain as the rising sun. They may think they have escaped. They may think their cruelty is cloaked in shadows, hidden behind a veil of deceit and manipulation. They may believe that they can continue to walk through this world, leaving scars in their wake, thinking that no one will ever call them to account for their actions. But they are wrong. They are so terribly wrong. Divine justice is not a concept that can be dismissed with a wave of the hand or a smile of arrogance. It is a force that works in ways beyond human understanding, a force that cannot be evaded or outrun. We often think of justice as something that can be measured by human standards. We think of it as a court of law with judges and lawyers and verdicts handed down in the blink of an eye. But divine justice is not like that. Divine justice operates in realms that the human mind cannot always grasp. It is not always instant. It is not always visible, but it is always there, weaving its threads through the lives of all who choose to bring harm to others. There are those who look around at the world, at the cruelty they see, and wonder why it seems to go unpunished. They look at the powerful, the corrupt, the deceitful, and they see them thriving. They see them rise higher and higher, seemingly untouched by the consequences of their evil. They look at the wicked and think, how is it that they are allowed to flourish? But what they fail to understand is that divine justice does not work on a human timeline. It does not play by the rules of men. The scales of justice do not tip on our whims, but on the eternal will of God, the master of the universe, the one who sees all and knows all. You may not see it now, but know this: nothing goes unnoticed. Nothing is ever truly forgotten. Every action, every word, every thought, every deed is recorded in the universe. And when the time comes for divine justice to unfold, it will come like a flood. It will not be a trickle, a gentle reminder. It will come with a power that cannot be denied, a force that will shake the very foundation of everything they thought they knew. They thought they could hurt you, manipulate you, break you, and walk away untouched. They believed that their cruelty would be buried under the weight of time, that the damage they caused would fade away into nothingness. But what they failed to realize is that the damage they inflicted has been etched into the very fabric of existence. You are not a mere footnote in their story. You are not a passing moment that will be erased by the sweep of time. Your pain, your suffering, your struggle, these are the very things that will bring them to justice. Every wound they inflicted upon you, every moment they took from you, will be returned to them. And it will not be a quiet return. It will not be a gentle tap on the shoulder to remind them of what they did. No, it will be a force they cannot escape, a reckoning they will be powerless to stop. The universe has a way of balancing itself. It has a way of righting wrongs, of correcting the course when it is veered too far. Their cruelty will come back to them in ways that they cannot possibly fathom. They may have thought that they were the ones in control, the ones pulling the strings. But they were mistaken. They were never in control. The universe, the divine, the force of justice. These are the true masters. They are the ones who guide the course of all things. And when someone steps out of line, when someone harms others, when someone thinks they are above reproach, the divine will step in. It will not be with a vengeance, but with a precision and a wisdom that no human hand could ever match. They will face consequences that cannot be predicted, consequences that will come in forms they never saw coming. Perhaps they will lose everything they hold dear. Perhaps they will find themselves in the midst of their own suffering. Perhaps they will be betrayed by those they once trusted. The cruelty they show to others will be the very thing that turns on them, and they will not know where it came from. They will be blindsided, unable to protect themselves from the forces that they thought were beneath them. But let me tell you, there is no need to rush this. There is no need to look for it, to wait in anticipation for their downfall. For divine justice is not something that needs to be forced. It is a natural law, like the turning of the seasons or the movement of the stars. You do not need to strike back. You do not need to make them pay. The universe will handle that. The divine will make sure that they get exactly what they deserve, and it will be far more than they ever bargained for. It is important to understand that divine justice is not about revenge. It is not about getting even. It is not about finding satisfaction in another's misery. That is not the path to peace. The path to peace is understanding that no one is exempt from the consequences of their actions, that even the most powerful, the most seemingly untouchable, will eventually face what they have done. They may not face it in the way you expect, but they will face it in a way that is fitting for their deeds. And in this, you must find your peace. You must find your solace in the knowledge that you do not need to carry the burden of seeking justice. That burden is not yours to bear. You are free from the chains of vengeance and anger. You are free to live your life without constantly looking over your shoulder, without constantly fearing that their cruelty will continue to have power over you. No, you are free because divine justice is on your side. The universe will take care of what they have done, and you will be left to live in peace, to heal, to rebuild, and to thrive. Those who have hurt you will have to face the consequences of their actions. They will have to look into the mirror of their soul and see the damage they caused. And that, my friends, will be their greatest punishment, because there is no greater punishment than the realization that you have destroyed something precious, something pure, something good. And once that realization sets in, there is no escaping it. It will eat at them, gnaw at their conscience, and they will feel it deep in their bones. It will haunt them in ways that no punishment ever could. And so, while they may walk freely now, while they may seem to live without consequence, know that their time is coming. Their cruelty will return to them. And when it does, it will be a force they cannot resist. It will be a storm that will destroy everything they have built on the backs of others. It will be a reckoning that will leave them broken and humbled, and they will come to understand what they did, what they took, what they destroyed. For there is no escaping divine justice. It is a force beyond the reach of any human being, beyond the control of any earthly power. It is as sure as the night follows the day, and no one is exempt from its reach. And when it comes for them, when it finds them, they will know the truth, that their cruelty was never truly their own to wield. It was a borrowed power, a borrowed moment, and it has run out. And as for you, my friends, know that you are free, free from the weight of their cruelty, free from the burden of seeking retribution. You are free because divine justice has already been set into motion, and there is no force on earth that can stop it. No one is beyond its reach. No one, not even them. They may think they have outsmarted the laws of the universe. They may believe that they've escaped, that the consequences of their actions have been buried beneath their arrogance, their pride, their perceived power. But what they fail to realize is that divine justice is not bound by human limits. It is not bound by time, not bound by place, and certainly not bound by the foolish schemes of those who think they can escape the consequences of their cruelty. For as sure as the sun rises each morning, the scales will tip, the balance will be restored, and they will face the reckoning they thought they had evaded. What they don't understand is that cruelty, manipulation, and deceit are not just human acts. They are violations against the very fabric of creation. Every act of malice that they inflict upon another is a wound upon the universe itself, a violation of the sacred order that governs all things. And though they may think that their actions go unnoticed, though they may believe that the damage they've caused will be swept under the rug of time, there is always a higher law at work, the law of cause and effect, the law of karma, the law of divine justice. And these laws, my friends, cannot be outrun. They cannot be avoided. They cannot be ignored. They believed that they could get away with it, that their cruelty, their manipulation would never come back to haunt them. But the universe is not so easily deceived. Every drop of pain they inflicted upon others will eventually come back to them. Every lie they told, every betrayal they committed, every ounce of suffering they caused will be returned in ways they cannot foresee. Not because you seek revenge, not because you wish ill upon them, but because the laws of the universe demand it. And when those laws come calling, there is no place they can hide, no fortress they can build, no amount of wealth or power that can protect them. For the forces that govern the universe are not swayed by human influence. They are not gods, no matter how high they rise. They are not invincible, no matter how much they try to deceive themselves into believing that their actions come without consequence. Their cruelty will not remain unpunished, for the world is made up of balances, and every action has its reaction. And it is not a matter of time or place, for divine justice will find them wherever they are. It will strike them in ways they cannot anticipate, in moments they are least prepared for, in places where they thought they were untouchable. And when it comes, when they finally see the consequences of their actions, it will not be with a quiet whisper of retribution. It will be with a force, a clarity, a power that they cannot ignore. It will be as though the universe itself has taken them by the hand, pulled back the veil, and shown them the true cost of their cruelty. The very thing they used to hurt others will become the thing that destroys them. The pain they inflicted will be the pain they are forced to feel. The lies they told will unravel and expose them for who they truly are. The harm they brought to others will come back to haunt them in a way that will leave them powerless. Do not mistake this for a simple outcome of chance. This is not a matter of fate or luck. This is divine law at work. This is the law of retribution, the law of cosmic balance, the law of justice that governs the very foundations of existence. No one is above it, not even the most powerful, not even the most cunning. They may try to act as if they are gods, but they are not. They may think they are untouchable, but they are not. They may believe that their cruelty will go unpunished, but they are mistaken. The universe sees all, God sees all, and divine justice is inevitable. It is not a matter of when, but of how. It is not a matter of whether they will face the consequences, but of how those consequences will unfold. And when that moment comes, when they are confronted with the reality of what they've done, it will be as though the ground beneath them is pulled away. Their world will crumble, their lives will collapse, their sense of security will vanish, and they will find themselves standing alone, stripped of the illusions they built around themselves. They will realize, far too late, that their cruelty has a cost, that no one, not even them, is beyond the reach of divine justice. They will come face to face with the truth of their actions, and it will break them. It will break them in ways they cannot understand, for the burden of knowing the harm they've caused, the destruction they've wrought, will be a weight that no earthly power can lift. No amount of money, no position of power, no army of followers will protect them from the truth. And in that moment, when they are finally forced to face the damage they've done, they will realize that the true price of their cruelty is something far more precious than any material possession or fleeting victory. The price they will pay is the destruction of their own soul. But here's the thing: their fall from grace will not be your burden. Their downfall will not be your source of satisfaction. For divine justice does not require your intervention. You are free from the need to take action. You are free from the need to chase after them, to seek revenge, to make them feel the pain they caused. For when divine justice arrives, it will not require your help. You do not need to lift a finger to make them pay. The universe will do that for you. God will do that for you. And the beauty of it is that when the time comes for them to face what they've done, there will be no one left to blame but themselves. Do not seek their destruction. Do not long for their suffering. For in the moment they are forced to confront their own evil, they will experience a torment far greater than anything you could ever wish upon them. The weight of their guilt, the weight of their knowledge that they are responsible for their own undoing, will be a punishment that will haunt them for the rest of their days. And that, my friends, is the true power of divine justice. It is not about inflicting pain. It is about letting the guilty face the consequences of their own actions and watching them crumble under the weight of their own sins. So while they may walk around with a sense of invincibility, while they may continue to manipulate and deceive, know that their time is coming. Their time is drawing near, and there will be no escaping the reckoning that awaits them. The divine has already set the wheels of justice in motion, and there is no force on this earth that can stop it, not even them. And when that time comes, when they finally face the music, they will understand the truth that no one, no matter how powerful, no matter how clever, is beyond the reach of divine justice. They will understand that their cruelty was never truly theirs to wield, that the power they thought they had was an illusion, a fleeting moment in the grand scheme of eternity. And when they stand alone, facing the wreckage they've created, they will realize that the price they paid for their actions is one that no earthly wealth, no human influence can ever undo. In that moment, you will be free. You will be free of the weight they placed upon you, free from the chains of anger, free from the desire for revenge. For you will know, without a shadow of a doubt, that justice has been served, that the scales have balanced, that the debt has been paid, and you will be free to move forward with your life, to heal, to rebuild and to grow. For divine justice, my friends, is the ultimate truth. It is the final word in the matter, and no one, not even them, can escape it. So remember this: their cruelty will return to them in ways they cannot imagine, and when it does, it will not be because of anything you have done. It will be because the universe has seen their actions, and the time has come for them to face the consequences. They will be judged, and they will pay the price. And in that moment, when the weight of their own guilt crashes down upon them, they will know the truth of what they have done. And they will learn far too late that no one at all, is beyond the reach of divine justice, not even them. And so, my friends, as we stand at the threshold of this understanding, let us remember that there is an undeniable truth woven into the very fabric of existence. Divine justice is real, and it is unwavering. No matter how it may seem at times, no matter how many evil deeds may go unpunished in the short term, rest assured that the balance of the universe is never truly disrupted. There is a higher order, a force greater than all human understanding that ensures justice will be served, and no one, not even the cruelest or the most powerful, is beyond its reach. You see, the enemy may appear victorious for a time. They may strut around with an air of invincibility, leaving scars in their wake. They may think they've outsmarted the world, that they've evaded consequence, that they've escaped unscathed. But the truth is, they are only fooling themselves, for their deeds are not hidden. Their pain and their malice have been recorded in the sacred ledger of the universe, and when the moment arrives for divine justice to unfold, it will come with a force that nothing on earth can resist. It will come like a storm that cannot be outrun, like the inevitable turning of the tides. And when that day arrives, when their world crumbles beneath the weight of their own actions, they will be left to face the full extent of their cruelty. There will be no escape. There will be no second chance. The consequences will come to them in ways they never anticipated, in forms they could not have imagined, and they will be forced to reckon with the reality of what they have done. It is the ultimate reckoning, one that cannot be ignored, one that cannot be dismissed, no matter how many illusions they have built around themselves. But for you, the one who has suffered at their hands, the one who has endured their cruelty, know this: you do not have to seek vengeance. You do not have to carry the weight of their actions. You do not have to become consumed by anger or hatred, for divine justice will take care of all of that for you. You are free from the burden of seeking retribution. You are free to live, to heal, to move forward with peace in your heart, knowing that the universe will make sure that those who sow pain and suffering will one day reap what they have sown. You have been given the gift of resilience, the strength to endure, to rise above, to heal from the wounds they inflicted upon you. And now, with the knowledge that divine justice is at work, you can step forward into the future unburdened, knowing that the scales will be balanced, the wrongs righted, and that the hands of the universe will deal with what is just. You are free, and they will never truly escape the consequences of their actions. Remember, no one is beyond the reach of divine justice, not even them. And when the time comes for them to face what they have done, they will know the full weight of the damage they have caused. They will know the pain they brought to others, and they will realize that the price they have paid is far higher than they could have ever imagined. For in the end, divine justice is not a matter of revenge. It is the natural law of the universe, and no one can escape it, not even them. So stand tall, knowing that no matter how cruel they were, or how deep they tried to bury the truth, the divine sees all. The divine knows all. Divine justice will come, and when it does, it will restore balance, bring healing, and bring peace. For no one is beyond the reach of divine justice, and that, my friends, is the ultimate truth.